My name is Benjamin Hobart III, and I serve as mayor of the village of Woodmere. It's in Cuyahoga County, Ohio.
I'm Matthew Starr, mayor for the city of Mount Vernon, Ohio. It's really a cornerstone of the process of government work is getting input and getting comment from the public, even though you may not want to hear it.
I think it makes it important because you get a chance to hear from the people that you represent. You get a chance to hear their concerns. And in a public forum, sometimes the elected official has a chance to respond, but sometimes it's better to listen. It's better to be able to hear what they've got to say, and then if you can, as the elected official, go back, talk with your staff, talk with others to find out what is going to be best in order to serve the community that you represent.
I think another thing is during public comments, I know it sounds strange, but sometimes people share misinformation or they are misinformed, knowingly or unknowingly. And so it gives you a chance though to educate the public about, well, hold on, this is the background, this is in our comprehensive plan, this is what we have agreed to do. And so that's why we are looking to make this change, or we're looking to go this direction. Just so it's a give and take portion.
You know, we've had a couple of issues that have popped up in Woodmere Village. The information that crossed my desk, to me, I said, oh boy, this would be absolutely perfect. You know, we'll gain population, we'll put people to work, we'll do X, Y, and Z. However, when the people, residents came to the meeting, they had a different opinion. And so, you know, you sit there and you realize, you know, they're the ones who have to live next door to the proposed development. They're the ones who have to see trucks and traffic and dust and whatnot. So instead of, as mayor, saying, no, we're going to do this because we've got to do this, you sit back and you listen. It's not to say that the project is dead. It's not to say the project will not move forward, but at least now we have more information to be able to tell the developer, to tell those people who are looking to build this thing, these are the considerations that you must have if you're going to make our constituents, if you're going to make those people we represent happy.
Number one, be truthful. If we have an issue where there's a delay in construction, just tell them. Just tell them we're delayed. It's you know, it's not going to be it's not going to happen like we wanted, but being truthful is incredibly important to do.
Sometimes you'll have somebody who will say, I don't think this is a good idea. And you'll say, okay, I understand that. However, I had a chance to talk to a university professor who has knowledge in this area. I've had an opportunity to speak with a business person who has skill set in this area. So I am not just trying to push something down the constituent's throat. What I'm trying to do is give you the best information that we have available.
It's impossible to know all of the answers, but you have to, again, take the information in and say, look, I'll follow up in detail. Let's give me a week to dig into this, and we'll get back and we'll visit and I'll see where we need to go from here. There's nothing wrong with that.
I would say keep your calm, keep your cool, don't yell, don't position yourself as being the expert in every area. And in this day and age with social media, you can say something January 1 of 2023 and January 1 of 2026, it pops right back up. So, you know, you got to be comfortable in what you say and have a foundation or basis for your decision.
Speculating is something I would avoid. Oftentimes I preface things that where I've been told by contractors or by people who are experts in the particular field that is on the issue, is based on the knowledge that we have right now, we think it could be as early as this, but there are a lot of variables in the air. And so you have to be very careful about speculating.
don't overpromise. That's another thing too. If you go into a meeting and you tell somebody, what we're going to do is we're going to build this and we're going to do that and we're going to take care of this and we're going to take care of that, and then you have to go to a meeting and get 7 members of council to agree. Or you have to go to the state, or you have to go to the county, and those are not layup decisions.
I think another thing that happens in public meetings or in meetings with constituents, there are some people who come to these gatherings with preconceived notions. And I've just had to say, hold on, I really don't agree with your conclusions, because this is what the research bears out. This is what our plan says. And so when you say that we don't really care about this, it's not true. We care a great deal about this. It's just we apparently differ on what we think should be happening right now. In these public meetings, and particularly in areas where there are many things to consider, count on your experts. You may need a police officer there, or the police chief. You may need the law director there. You may need the engineer there. You may need the property enforcement officer there, or zoning person. If you know what the topic is, and you've got, this is what our topic is going to be, and then we will open it up for some questions in general, have your staff available to be able to address the issues.
The hearing of the public is now open. You get 3 minutes each time. We ask you to be respectful because we have all ages and backgrounds and people that are listening. So please, I don't start the time until you say your name and residency to give you extra time. The hearing of the public is now open. Let me get my watch together. Stopwatch together.
Good evening. It's been a while since I've been here because health tends to get in the way sometimes, but there's some things that need to be said, and they need to be said in person. I'm here in support of Councilman Curley.
Okay, you know what? I'm gonna stop you right there, or we're gonna stop the council meeting because I'm not gonna let you speak on something that has to do with police, with the
You don't
police
even know what I was
and.
going to say.
Mayor, you gotta let her
No
speak.
idea what I was going to say.
Well, I'm gonna let her speak, but okay. Hold on. We're gonna have order, but if you're speaking on something that has to do with something that has to do with a police report, we're gonna respect the people that's in that.
Point of order,
Speaking-
Mr. Albright, regarding interruption of someone speaking in.
And I'm gonna have a point of order, and I'm gonna talk over you. This is gonna be one of those
Well, you know
meetings
what?
y'all never seen before. You're not gonna disrespect people that have
You
things
interrupted
going
without
on.
knowing what I was going to
Mayor,
say.
Okay,
you
well,
can talk about public things.
She can talk about public things, but I'm giving her a warning, just like we have always give people warnings before they spoke on certain things.
That was painful to watch on a lot of different levels, because at one point, you know, as the council member said, you didn't really give the person a chance to even say what they were going to say.
I was shocked because I thought that the initial comments of here are what the ground rules are, I thought she did a very nice job explaining that, and then all of a sudden, bam, just stopped the person, and then you could tell the other council members were very uncomfortable with that, and thankfully they spoke up as well. I have no idea if they were able to resolve this issue or not, but oh my gosh, it was just, if it's a public comment portion of the meeting, you have to allow it. The other question, you really have to have emotional intelligence in this job. You have to monitor your emotions. You have to know how your emotions play into how other people react.
Biggest concern for me is whenever you abridge a person's rights to say something, you've got a problem.
Certainly.
You know, reporters can be in meetings, they can be in the back of the room, they can be in the side, or they can just send the cameraman or the camerawoman and they're recording everything, and then a producer goes back and looks at what you said and writes your story. So whenever I go into any public meeting, quite frankly, when I go into any meeting, I'm trying to be cognizant that the person that may be behind the camera or the person who may be there with a notepad is actually an extension of my constituency. So what I say in that meeting needs to be something that I would say to that resident one-on-one.
Well, the media, particularly the local media, is really the source of trust. I know my community, and there are other communities that are hearing from their constituents who want to hear directly from the local government. And so we're having to put out a lot more press releases. We're having to do more social media videos. We're having to do more things that get information to the public. At the same time, I don't want to be a newspaper. That's not really my job. And when you have a neutral third party covering the story, it just gives more credibility and trust to the public. And they're a huge partner in what we do.
And I would caution anybody who is fearful or has some kind of hesitancy with a reporter, get comfortable with them. They're not all bad. No, all reporters are not out to get you. You know, they can actually help you communicate your message to your stakeholders. And, you know, specifically in a time of crisis, you know, you've got to get a message out to a number of people in a short period of time. And if you've established a relationship with a reporter, you may have currency, if you will, to be able to go in and explain what's going on, what's taking place. I mean, I've seen people before who have put their, hands up into the camera. I'm not talking to you. I don't want to talk to you. Well, no. When you say that, you're telling Mary or John, who's sitting at home as part of your constituency, I'm not talking to you. And I don't believe that is a good thing to do. If you're afraid to say it in front of a reporter, maybe you need to rethink what you are looking to do.
One of the things to remember in dealing with the media is that a one-size-fits-all approach does not work. You can go into great detail talking to a reporter for a print or internet news organization, but when you're talking with someone who's with the radio media or the television media, they need sometimes as few as 5 to 10 seconds for that soundbite to fit within their format.
With social media, I mean, there's a number of people who are out there. They have the cameras, they blog, they do this, that, and the other, and they have a chance on painting a narrative to something that takes place.
Social media is a necessary tool, as much as it drives me crazy personally. It's a necessary tool for running a business, a government, a municipality, anything. Because people turn to that for their news, they turn to that for their information. It's instant. If you don't have social media, you're really behind.
Now you have a chance to write down on LinkedIn, Facebook, website, and say, this is the challenge that we have, this is the issue we have, this is the opportunity we have, and this is how your mayor's office is going to respond. First Amendment rights, I mean, we had a situation about a year or so ago that was very uncomfortable involving one of our police officers. And there was an individual who was writing some very difficult to watch and read information. But I can't delete it because that's that person's First Amendment right. So if you're an elected official and somebody's writing something that you don't particularly care for, you gotta suck it up and deal with it, because you do not want to infringe on somebody's right to freedom of speech. It's very important.
You got to have it, but make sure that you do have a policy. What are your social media policies and how are you going to execute those? You're going to hear any and all kinds of opinions, and it's information. It's information that you were elected to take and deliberate on to make decisions based on the good of the public.
I represent Democrats, Republicans, Independents. I even represent individuals who don't go vote There is a population of people, because of their religious concerns, they don't vote. But I still represent them. I still got to provide city services and whatnot. So I would be very hesitant as an elected official to think that you're only speaking to D's or R's or I's or whatever, and realize that you are elected by everyone.